Hi there! So I decided to hop on board and do a Draw My Life video. As many of you know, I was born of a jackal, or the son of Satan, because my name is Damien. Not really, but everyone's teased me by calling me that ever since elementary school. I was actually born by a crazy mom and a crazy dad. My mom isn't so much crazy anymore, but my dad, he's definitely still something else. My mom and dad would never marry, so I guess you can call me the love child, or if you're an asshole, a bastard. My mom and dad raised me together up until I was about 3 years old. They fed me lots of love since I was their first and only child together. Then something happened. My dad took a shit in my mom's face and they broke up. Okay, that's not the real reason. In fact, I don't know what the true reason is. I hear stories on both sides, so I just let it go. Since then, I've always lived with my mom. I saw my dad every other weekend and I loved it. He was like this man of awesomeness. Kinda like a buddy-buddy dad, but he was still a parent. I was definitely blessed with two loving parents. Up until I was about 10, my mom and I lived with my pappy. Other family lived there off and on as well. My pappy built this house out in the country. He also had an in-ground pool with a water slide and a diving board. I was definitely outside a lot. In kindergarten, my first real friend was a kid with Down syndrome. I really didn't understand what that was at the time, but I just remember him always screaming, "Bubble butt!" And I thought that was hilarious. I guess you can say that's why I love screaming random shit out in the public all the time. After a few years, I think he had to move and I had to stay in the same school. It's okay though, I made friends. David and Daryl were among my best friends. Heck, I met Daryl when he moved into my pappy's apartment with his mom and sister. I remember I was outside petting a cat saying, "Pretty kitty, you're such a pretty kitty." And Daryl walked up to me for the first time, probably thinking I was a crazy fucking cat boy. However, we became best of buds. Some of my favorite things as a kid were the Power Rangers, Goosebumps, Mortal Kombat, and Pokemon. Hell, I had Pokemon cards, stickers, Game Boy games, clothes, CDs, fucking bouncy balls, toys. I had everything. The same goes for the Power Rangers because they ruled. I probably had 5 different Power Ranger costumes and I would wear them all the time. I would even make out with a Pink Ranger mask because, well, she was hot. I loved watching TV shows, although we didn't have cable. And of course, video games ruled. Daryl and I would play the shit out of video games. I preferred the Sega Genesis and PlayStation over going outside, and that's probably a bad thing. I also loved filming things with this big ass camera. I would create skits by myself and with Daryl. This most definitely is where the insanity videos started. 3rd grade is where I played my first instrument. I played a random piano one day. My mom liked it so much she paid for lessons. I hated reading notes. I would rather just let my fingers play whatever they wanted to play. I remember my piano teacher told me to always eat peanut butter before I came to practice. I had no idea what the fuck she was talking about. While living at my pappy's, my mom had dated some pretty horrible guys. They treated her like absolute shit. And if I can tell that as a kid, then there is something wrong with you. However, when I was in 4th grade, my mom met this wonderful, caring person named Wes. He was incredibly nice, successful, positive, and loving. My mom hit the jackpot. They ended up getting married, and we moved into a house together. Soon enough, they ended up having a girl, which would be my sister. Now, on my father's side, I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. My one brother is 5 years younger than me. We grew up together, dressing up as Batman villains, playing games. We had a world of an imagination. My sister is 10 years younger. She has the same mom as my brother, who my dad was married to for 10 years. Most recently, my dad had a surprise. A baby brother. He is too, and boy, he is obsessed with trains. My dad is also remarried, so I have a stepsister as well. I picked up playing guitar in 8th grade, seeing how cool Daryl was playing it. My dad has also been playing guitar ever since he was young. He was in a lot of metal bands, so that really influenced me. That summer, I got my first Fender acoustic guitar. I'm pretty sure Nirvana was the first thing that I learned. So, in elementary and middle school, I was always the kid that wanted to make people laugh. I mean, you know it feels good to make someone laugh. I had that same feeling, but I always wanted to do it. It brings a certain type of joy, it just makes me happy. And as I got older, this is how I continued to make friends. In middle school and high school, I wanted to be friends with everyone, including the popular kids. And where I really wasn't part of that clique, I still talked to them and made them laugh. And that's how I went out of my comfort zone. I mean, by making people laugh in ridiculous ways. This is how I made my schooling experience fun. Because really, who likes to do work? The best part of school is hanging out with your friends. Throughout school, I made a few girlfriends, but nothing was serious. I was in a band for a little while, but that crumbled. It was only late that I actually started to attend school events like basketball and football games. I wish I started doing that sooner than 11th grade. I went to prom both my junior and senior year. but it was mostly just like hanging out with my friends and random dances with girls. The 2 girls I took were friends, so nothing the least bit exciting happened. Shit, on senior prom I straight up asked a girl to suck my dick, but that obviously failed. I graduated in 2006 and I thought, wow, my young life is now over. It felt more depressing than exciting. What's next? Well, at first, I really wanted to be a film writer and director. I wrote this horrible horror script back in like 12th grade, convinced I would make this into a film one day and it would be amazing. But also, while in 12th grade, I started making these short comedy videos. Because really, what better way than being silly than record it? So I made these videos and shared it with everyone in my classes, and made them laugh, and eventually I put them up on YouTube. And boy, were they weird. My first video involved me pretending to snort cocaine off my cat, while listening to a song about poop. After graduation, I decided to keep posting on YouTube, because it was cool. On each video I would get like 10 random comments, and it was freaking awesome. During the summer, I wrote my first comedy script and filmed it with a few friends, and ever since then, my YouTube life continued to grow. I attended a community college and worked, but I still made these crazy videos in my spare time, and it's a good thing that I did. After a year or so is when it started to really take off, and I was receiving a lot of attention. This was incredibly exciting. I was sharing my random creations around the world, and people were watching. Holy shit! I mean, it was my dream to be big on YouTube, and it was actually starting to fall in place. I was finally a part of this big awesome community that I was obsessed with. My family was really supportive. My mom, dad, Wes, even my grandparents watched my crazy ass videos. They thought it was really cool and amazing that you can actually make money from something like this. Wildly enough, I had my first serious relationship because of YouTube. All from one random comment. After that comment, we ended up talking online, and soon enough, we started dating. She lived in Florida and I lived in Maryland, so we had to fly to see each other. This, however, didn't work out in the end. After community college, I transferred to a university to study digital media and film. Because, well, that was still my plan. I was thinking, crap, will this affect my YouTube videos? I was pretty scared that I wasn't going to be able to do videos as much, and even if I did, what would I do? I'm living with 7 roommates. It would never be quiet. Little did I know, I would meet this crazy fuck named Kyle, and I roomed with him. He was there to study film, but little did he know, he would soon be in many YouTube videos. I found him to be one of the funniest people I've ever met, and our real life interactions were so hilarious, I molded them into actual videos. And it worked! My YouTube videos continued to only improve now that I had this extra dimension that people liked. Living on my own was great. Going to parties, yelling at drunk people outside our apartment, having noise wars with our neighbors. They would always party on a weekday when we were studying, so we blasted music right back and took a broom and banged on the fucking wall. One night, I stepped outside of our apartment to see 2 girls in the hallway watching Harry Potter on a laptop. Being confused why there were 2 girls outside our door, I go back in and tell Kyle. Eventually, we worked our way out half drunk, talking to these chicks. They made fun of us because we kept on stirring our liquor and coke with a fork. Later that night, I managed to slip my number into one of these girls' phone. We kept on talking and talking throughout the semester, and during that summer, I asked her to be my girlfriend. And her name is Alicia. And wouldn't you know, we've stuck together for almost 4 years. That shatters every other relationship that I've ever had. I think I landed on something good. I mean, a gorgeous girl who shares the same sense of humor, who's trusting and caring, loves video games and sports, has a big booty, and loves me as much as I love her. Oh yeah, and we hardly argue. That's a plus. Despite my advisor telling me to get the fuck out of college because YouTube has taken off, I still insisted on getting my degree. In December of 2010, I finally graduated. It felt like high school all over again, only this time I knew schooling was final. I kinda wish I went to the university for the full 4 years instead of 2.5 because it was so fun. I felt like I missed out on so many more memories. But if that were to have happened, I probably would have never met Alicia or Kyle. So things do happen for a reason. After college, I stuck to what I've been doing, YouTube. Because really, why would I want to do anything else right now? I'm my own boss at creating comedic videos to share with the world. And just a month or 2 after I graduated, my stepfather Wes, he told me he would have to undergo surgery to fix something known as pancreatitis. He told me if he didn't, he could die in 5 years. My family understood, so he went under the knife. After the surgery, everything seemed to be fine. Heck, they even let him out 4 days when he was supposed to be in the hospital for a week. He did the rest of the recovery back at home and he seemed to be fine. But something went wrong. On April 20th of 2011, I faced the worst day of my life. I'm not getting too detailed on it since there's a long video of me already talking about it, but Wes was rushed back to the hospital from unexpected complications. Surgeons worked on him all day to help contain the bleeding that was happening, but right before midnight, Wes had passed away. I can't even begin to express all the feelings that I felt, that our entire family felt. Why? Why did such a thing happen? Wes was a saint, a loving husband, a loving father, and now he has to go? I remember when I went to college, he was so excited for me, probably more excited than I was to go. He loved the visit, always asked about it, and just wanted to see me succeed and graduate. And so I'm glad he did, because I was like a son to him. And he got to see me finally graduate and go on with my life before he had to leave Earth. I wish things weren't this way. What keeps me going is my positive family and friends, and knowing that horrible events happen to everyone. I know I'm not alone. It's life. It has now just passed 2 years since Wes has left us, and I have to say, I'm very proud of myself and my family for remaining strong. For someone who is in our lives every day, we are making the very best of it. On a happier note, this month also marks my 7 years on YouTube. 7 freaking years! That's my entire middle school and high school life. How the hell does time fly by so fast now? Going from 6th grade to 7th grade felt like a century. But now you watch a fucking movie and suddenly you're 40 years old. That's the thing with this YouTube life. You don't know what's next. I love what I do, but it certainly can't last forever. Can it? I know I love entertainment, so I'll probably be in the same field. It'll remain a mystery. But I guess that's what life is, a mystery. You never really know where your life is going to take you, and even if you do, you'll face some unexpected turns that will be both good and bad. Hopefully, more good. So I'm going to continue what I love doing, and that's make YouTube videos for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this Draw My Life video with my crappy drawings. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.